Right, just a quick update. Obviously everyone's debating this CCTV now. Not quite sure why it was released, seeing as everything was more or less explained off, wasn't it? You know, that's a wrap, I think someone said. So why come out of CCTV footage now and not in the beginning? And why does it look different? Why does it glitch? You know, the leaves don't move on the right. People saying there's white gloves being worn. And then in the other images, there's not. People saying there's water there in the boot. Then in the other shot, there's not. So these are the pictures. There's the lead, there's the dog. The video comes out. It shows the boot ready to be closed, the hands there. Whereas this shot down here is someone walking up to the car. But the dog doesn't seem to be there. The lead seems to be there. But the dog's either blurred out or it's not there. And the boot looks quite big. Quite big. It looks bigger than maybe this shot, I don't know. Does it look as big as that? So people saying there's different days being shown here, and cut and paste again. Keep talking about this cut and paste. So I had a quick look. I think this is the model of the car, and there's the boot. Now the boot, normally when you open it, it's got this lid thing attached to it, and that's that black thing at the top there you can see. Now if they got the dog in the car, they've probably taken that off, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to see nothing. I wouldn't have thought. When the boot was open, you wouldn't see Paul's hand allegedly coming into the car. But as you can see underneath that is the seats. So you might see something at the top of the boot and just the top of the seats. You might get a little something there, but you wouldn't get nothing below that point. It would be blocked. Unless the seats were down. If the seats were down, then the boot would look bigger as well. So let's have a look.
New pictures of Nick.
So this is the new CCTV, and you can see at the top there, just above the head, I think that's meant to be Paul's hands coming into the car, which would be above the seat.
Nicola Bulley, who went missing while walking next to a river in Lancashire, have been released, showing
like
her on the morning of her disappearance. New pictures of Nicola Bulley, who went missing while walking next to a river in Lancashire, have been released, showing her on the morning of her disappearance.
It looks like there's a gap. It looks like he's slightly lower than the top of the seat.
New pictures of Nicola Bulley, who went missing while walking next to a river in Lancashire, have been released, showing her on the morning of her disappearance.
Yes, I'm not sure if the seats are down. I'm not sure. I'll have to throw that one out there, see what everyone else thinks. You know, the boot would look bigger if the seats are down. People saying they can see bottles of water in there and all that, like large amounts of water. But with a dog in there as well. You see, look. Now, if this is the same model of vehicle, I'm not an expert, but, you know, there's just about enough room for a pram there. Obviously, you can see the covers there for the boots up, so that covers there would have blocked out any view of the inside of the car while that's up. But yeah, if the seats are down, then you've got more space there. You know, right here, the seats are down the side where Paul is, supposedly, leaning into the car. But then if they're up, there shouldn't be that gap where the doors open. Unless it's above the seat line maybe. But is it? Or is it below the seat line? Because if it's below the seat line, then it looks like the seats are down, because then you'd be able to see through the back of the boot to the passenger side. I think this is the car, because when I was looking for the windows, it seemed to have the same windows, you know, like a line. It looks like there's an extra bit of window there or whatever. But yeah, like I say, I don't know if that is the car. But even if it isn't, you know, was the seats up or were they down for the extra space? Yeah, so like I say, a lot of people's debating it. People saying they've seen white gloves being worn. People saying some shots there's a ring, other shots there ain't. I mean, why did they come with this CCTV footage now? You know, they've asked everyone to call off the online, the mainstream media, but then they go and leak this after all this time, after everything's meant to have died down. They've gone and leaked this footage to someone online that's altered the video because they've blurred out this and blurred out that, and it should have been blurred out already, and it looks like it might have been, but they've redone it again. So the video's been messed about with by two people to block this out and block that out, so you don't see this, the bins and the register, the number plate, and you know, it's just messed it up a little bit, hasn't it? And it looks a bit glitchy when you play it.
Police have said their assumption is that she fell into the river, and today many members of the while walking next to a river in Lancashire have been released, showing her on the morning of her disappearance. Police have said their assumption is that she fell into the river, and today many new pictures of Nicola Bulley, who went missing while walking next to a river in Lancashire, have been released, showing her on the morning of new pictures of Nicola Bulley, who went missing while walking next to a river in Lancashire, have been released, showing her.
So that must be the
morning of
light or something there.
Her disappearance. New pictures of Nicola Bulley, who went missing while walking next to a river in Lancashire have been released, showing her.
Just before the boot comes down, there's like what is meant to be Paul's hands coming into the car and coming out of the car. But how would you see that? If the seats were up, you'd only see it if it was above the seat height, but it looks lower than that. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, when I put out my theory a couple of days ago, and I said I got no evidence for it, I just wouldn't put it past them. You know, some people would have heard or watched that video. And when I come in and I saw that, the CCTV, I thought, oh my God. Shit, and you've only just gone and said that the other day. But now, after what everyone's debating it, it's still on the table at the moment. It's still there. And I could still be wrong. But obviously, what needs to happen is more clarification on the situation. But we're not really getting that, are we? And the people that's researching it properly are coming out with all these links. So we had, Paul Ansel on Facebook changing his name to Sam Beckett. Sam Beckett is Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap is, some guy who's like time traveling and he ended up in different bodies. He was still the same person, but he just looked different. He was in somebody else's body in their life. So that's where Quantum Leap comes from. Truman Show, that's what he said himself in the interview. He said he felt like he was in the Truman Show. A lot of research, there's good research out there from people. People's found out that Ron's related to Penny via his wife. The Finchley Road link, where they're all linked to the businesses and that. There's someone looked the other day, some other person that was missing, Nicola Bulley, was meant to be helping out the police in that case. There's loads of different angles coming from this, and it's not solving anything. It's just making it more complicated in a way, because it's not adding up now, the official story and what everyone else is finding out. And are we wrong for doing that? I don't think so, because they're the ones that threw it out on the news. They're the ones that asked everyone to get involved. They wanted information, they wanted help. And just because everyone's, or not everyone, just because a group of people's managed to work out more truth to the story than what they want coming out, that's not wrong, is it? You can't say that's wrong. Do you know what I mean? You wanted help, and now you're getting help. You're saying this, it's not help anymore. We don't want your help. You think because the case has just ended like that, it's a wrap, someone said. But it's not a wrap, is it? It's not a wrap. Because people think there's a murder suspect out there. People are worried that there's still a murder suspect out there. But no one's concerned with the police, because as far as they're concerned, she drowned. The body's been found. And we've got to wait until it gets confirmed. But within the circle, they would have had it confirmed more or less. So, anyway, I don't think it's going to die out, is it? There's obviously a lot of people researching it. A lot's come out, and there's bound to be more coming out in there. So we'll just have to wait and see. But that was just a quick update. Just going over some of and I've probably forgotten a lot more. But, some of the ones that I've remembered that people's talking about, with the what's in the boot and what's not in the boot and what's being worn and what's not being worn. So, I don't know. What do you lot think?